Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
All right, everybody, welcome to Frankenstein Control. Lots to talk about, as always, and let's get right to it.
Actually, before we do that like depression meal that I ate before we recorded just isn't doing it for me, so I gotta get a snack.
Oh, okay. Are you concerned about Ada? All she's doing is eating and sleeping and talking about depression.
I mean, I just thought that's what people do.
I mean, that's what I do all the time.
Well, that's what I do all the time.
Do we have a problem?
I'm not. Ada!
You're back! Wow, that's a lot of chips.
Whoa! Ada, what's that? Just an awful lot of equipment. What is Rap Snacks?
What the fuck?
Rap Snacks!
What the fuck is that?
Rap Snacks.
It's Rap Snacks.
Featuring sour cream and ranch Migos.
Sour cream with a dab of ranch.
Oh, with a dab.
No.
Gotta get that dab.
I've got 3 flavors.
What you got?
I've got Rat Snack Wavies, Little Boozy's Louisiana Heat Wavy Potato Chips.
These are real. These are real chip bags that Ada just walked in here with.
And Rap Snacks Barbecuing with Honey Romeo Miller flavored potato chips. They're flavored like Romeo Miller. Whoever this guy is.
He thought he was getting a good endorsement deal, but he has to stand in a Chinese factory where they rub him with potato flakes all day.
Welcome to our review of Rap Snacks. Ada, what do you think of the flavor? How's the mouth feel?
This is a dab of ranch.
Oh, it is? It's just a dab of ranch.
They're good.
It's not overpowering. The ranch isn't...
Oh, they're good.
Oh, excellent. Oh, fuck yeah. I gotta say, so far, consistency in chip size. That's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. That was gross.
Oh.
I don't like that.
I usually like ranch chips, but this is...
It's because, like...
What happened?
You're used to ranch with cheese, like the nacho, like the fucking Doritos. That's just ranch. That's gross, man.
No, there's like something to it. It's like kind of pickly almost.
Why didn't you give me the Little Boozy's barbecue one?
Open up, find out.
Yeah!
Wow. Hey, just for the folks at home, what a really...
Ada, you better have pictures of all these bags on the screen right now.
Oh, yeah.
I wanna make sure you're aware just how much air to chip ratio is in these bags in favor of the air.
That is a healthy amount of oxygen.
There is Alright, let's try these boys here. These look good.
This is incredible.
These are the Little Boozy's barbecue flavored Louisiana Heat.
How's the heat? Do you like that better than the ranch?
Much, much better.
Give me that. Dude, I will say that they're really good with the chip size. They're all pretty much the same size, and they're big. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they took a whole potato and just cross-sectioned it, like that movie where Owen Wilson's brother goes into some serial killer's mind. How?
These Romeo Miller barbecue with honey ones, these are excellent, I gotta say.
Oh, word?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a huge fan of barbecue chips, so I'm a little biased. I'm going to say, I didn't like these Little Boozy's potato chips. I know it doesn't say it's barbecue, but it's barbecue in spirit. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's got some heat to it. I appreciate that. I like the hot. I like the hot.
The Louisiana heat is definitely there.
Okay, let me try the
those are good.
The Romeo Miller barbecuing with my honey Romeo Miller.
Yes, that's how you're supposed to pronounce that.
Okay. How?
Those are good.
Ooh! Oh, they go really high on the sweet. Y'all liking the podcast so far?
This is the first time I've eaten barbecue chips since like 2009.
Oh, what? I love barbecue chips. I'm fat though, so.
Well, see, Steven and I got like...
I'll give you another one of those spicy ones.
Steven and I got like a quart of Kentucky Gentleman gut rot whiskey apiece
on
New Year's Eve and drank the entirety of it in one Futurama episode, and then ate an entire bag of barbecue chips and then threw it all up everywhere in his mom's basement.
Oh my god.
So...
No wonder she disowned you as her godson.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could disown someone as a godson after they're of legal age, but I guess you can.
Yep.
Also, that story reminds me, let's go ahead and take the conversation away from these delicious chips, these rapid snacks. And there is a a story about when me and my cousin were first trying out drinking. My dear cousin, who again will go unnamed, but he knows who he is. And bye-bye, delicious chip.
Yeah, I gotta take away the crinkles. I hope that this first 5 minutes of the episode wasn't just 100%.
Dana took away my chips.
That was Rap Snacks. Today's episode of Frankenstein Control is brought to you by Rap Snacks.
They're good. You can get them at 7-Eleven.
You can get them at Sevi S. Levy.
Where else? Where else would they sell?
Do you know how I found out about Rap Snacks?
How did you find? I'm afraid to ask.
I was taking the trash out at work, and I saw a face looking at me from the trash can.
I was drinking soda.
And it was a homeless man eating a bag of Rap Snacks?
No, it was it was Romeo Miller inside the trash can. It said, "Hey, I got these snacks for you. I think you'd like to try them."
Oh God!
Buy my chips. Subscribe to my Patreon.
Okay, fuck. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, drinking. Yes. So me and my cousin, we had just gotten into the game of drink. We were youngins, and we didn't quite know how everything was working yet. Oh, God. Just like how I don't know what's going on in my body at any given time.
Well, it's Rap Snacks right now.
So anyway, we're hanging out, and somehow, I forget how we even ascertained this, because we were not 21 at the time. But we had ascertained a completely full bottle of absolute vanilla vodka. We're like, so did you just do shots of this? Yeah, I guess so. And so we just start we do one shot. And then we wait 5 minutes to see if we feel anything. And we're like, I don't feel anything, do you? Nah, we should probably do another shot. And we do that, and then 5 minutes later, we wait, and then still nothing is happening. Meanwhile, my cousin's sister comes over to have a chat.
Who's also your cousin.
Yes,
she's also your cousin's sister.
Well, I mean, my other cousin, fine. My other cousin shows up, and she's like, hey, can I talk to your brother? And I'm like, well, he's upstairs, go. And then Autumn goes. 30 minutes they talk about something. Meanwhile, we took a shot every 5 minutes until about 7 shots.
Oh, no.
And we felt nothing the whole time. 30 minutes pass of them talking. They come down. Both of us are stumbling around, tripping over furniture. You're like, hey, since you two, how you doing? You guys are fun talking about. And they're like, oh my God. What the fuck happened? And then my cousin barked.
Hey.
I passed out and he barfed.
Did he barf in the sink and not clean it up?
No, that was a different occasion.
Okay. Who did that?
But I'm not telling. I'm not gonna. You know who you are, cousin.
I was concerned it was me.
You're not my cousin.
Well, actually, I was gonna, on that point, you had a family trip recently, and I got all the notifications of all the lovely pictures of you with your brothers and your mom.
Oh, God. You mean pictures featuring my brother, my mom, and a horrible potato man with a beard?
Yes. That's an awful way to talk about your stepfather, Taylor.
Be mine?
No,
I'm self-deprecating.
I know, I was throwing a linchpin into it.
More like a grenade pin.
I used that incorrectly. I'm a terrible smartman.
So Jane Lynch would be very disappointed in you. She's sticking a pin in it, though.
Yes. So I got all of these nice pictures of you all clearly being very happy. And it was that thing where I realized after the fact that pictures of you aren't necessarily your pictures. So I liked a bunch of them, and then I realized, I should unlike those real fast, because people who don't know me, whose pictures these are gonna be like, that's creepy that this dude is liking my shit.
It's just cousin Rusty Shackelford.
I was just gonna say, all of your family by now is familiar with me as an extra cousin, Rusty Shackelford, at all of your family gatherings.
That was a fun time. Yeah, I was in Tennessee, went to Nashville, saw absolutely nothing about what one would actually go to Nashville for. There's all kinds of cultural good shit there. Saw none of it.
You didn't see Dolly Parton?
I did not. She's still alive?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll know when she dies.
Yeah.
That's true. Never mind. Anyway, didn't go to the Dolly Parton's Booger Museum. Didn't go to the Tennessee Nissan. My body's moving all on its own stadium. I didn't go to the building that says AT&T, but you can't fool me. That's fucking Wayne Enterprises. There's a building there that looks like it's straight out of Gotham City. It's really weird.
The Bruce Timm executive suite.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't go to any of the bridges. I didn't see any of the country music places. No, I chilled with my mom by a river, and it was nice.
That sounds lovely.
And we cooked lots and lots of breakfast. And then I went to see my cousins. Not the ones featured in the conversation prior. These are different cousins. Mm-hmm. And
you got a lot of cousins.
It was so crazy because they invited like a bazillion of their friends over. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to be like the fucking weird guy. Oh geez, because like I kind of view my cousins as cooler than me. So like I suspected they all had really rad friends also. But then they were immediately like, they were like us. They're weird, crazy people just like us. And I was like, yeah! And I blended in instantly.
Game recognized game, baby.
It was great. Like, it was really astounding. Like, I'm not used to connecting with people that quickly. But it was great. It was a good time. I had a very reaffirming, wonderful time in Tennessee. And I smoked a lot of vape, and also Mom's dog's face is melting.
Woody's?
No, Woody is dead. It's rotting in a garbage can next to those potato chips, next to the wrap snacks. No.
Woody's in hell.
Woody's in hell. The only dog to ever go to hell. So he's with Yukon Cornelius now.
Yes.
No.
He's pulling his sled.
Mom has this little blonde Yorkshire Terrier named Jolie, and she was a normal dog. And then all of her teeth rotted out of her skull, and she looks like she has no lower jaw, and her mouth is just this gaping black void of brown scum, and with a tongue flipping out, and she likes to just not even moving, just lying down, and sounds like this. And I'm just like, doggy.
Poor dying creature.
The fact that you were born is animal cruelty all on its own! And, I mean, she's just a normal ass dog. Dogs don't really care about that shit, but I do.
Yeah.
I see her face and I'm just like, I'm going to die someday.
Does my face remind you of the grim specter of death?
Dude, speaking of the grim specter of death, when I visited my cousins, they used to live in this area a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And way long ago, they bought this cat named Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying on my cousin's house. Not Cool Cat, Kit Kat. Whoa! And I'm chilling at my cousin's house, and then I look over, and there's Kit Kat walking across the floor. I'm like, oh my god, Kit Kat's still alive. How old is Kit Kat? And then my cousin was like, 21. I'm like, okay, but really? And he's like, no, she's 21. I'm like, what? And then he just leaves the room saying, she siphons life off of her owners. And leaves the room. And I'm like, ah! Now, and I was worried to be in the same room as the cat for prolonged periods of time.
Because it would just die and it'd be your fault, of course.
Well, no, it didn't look, it looked like a normal ass cat. It wasn't like, or anything. It's just walking around being a cat. You wouldn't be able to tell. It was 21 goddamn years old, otherwise known as Methuselah in cat years.
That cat's allowed to drink.
That cat is allowed to drink.
He really, really shouldn't, but he's legally allowed.
Which means he has to.
It's a she. Kit Kat's a she.
Okay.
Which might have something to do with the prolonged age. You know, women live longer than men.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why my mom is going to outlive me. Wait, no. That's my heart disease that's going to take me at 40.
And your gout.
And my gout. It'll be a combination of heart disease and gout. The uric acid is just going to cause a cardiac abscess. That's a word.
I'm having an infarction.
I'm having an infart. That's it.
You're going to have a fart attack.
I just deflate and there goes my soul.
You fart
right up
fart
my
all
ass.
your guts out.
Oh.
We farted out a lung.
Now I'm just imagining that happening, and then eventually just like the top of your head sort of like sinks in through your neck, and then you just sort of just turn inside out, boy. Is that going too far?
Perhaps.
Welcome to
Prolapse.
No! Welcome to Body Horror Control.
I'm your host, Inside Out Boy.
With guest star Hirohiko Araki.
No. Speaking of people who said things about body horror, and also speaking of do a throwback to YouTube people who aren't terrible. I was watching the Super Mega Boys play Animal Crossing, and it's funny as hell. Mm-hmm. And one of the many things they were discussing is apparently there's this, there's some kind of amusement park. I hesitate to use that word. It's like a Discovery Zone / amusement park, like a children's museum type thing. And it's called Edventure. And it's like this giant fiberglass man named Ed, apparently, and you go through his body and, like, see all his anatomically correct organs and bones and shit, and like lymphic system and what all. It's supposed to be educational. And one of them, I cannot for the life of me tell Matt and Ryan apart by voice.
No, they sound the same. I thought they were brothers for the longest time.
Yeah.
Just because they sound exactly the same.
They sound exactly the same, but one of them says, like, yeah, there's this big guy, his name is Ed, you just, you go through his body, his name's Big Ed, and you go inside, you look at all his organs and shit, and the other one goes, can you slide down Big Ed's big anus? And it killed me. I laughed so fucking hard at that for hours.
I haven't actually watched any of their playthroughs of anything. I've only watched them play with the Grumps in like Game Grumps versus episodes and stuff. But is a core centerpiece of their dynamic and their humor conflict with each other, because they fight a lot, or they don't fight, they bicker. They bicker, and it's funny.
It is.
But, like, that is a huge segment of their humor. They bicker a lot. And they do that kind of bickering where it's like this. Yeah. No, shut the fuck up. Like, that kind of thing. Yeah. But the way they do it is really funny. Also why I thought they were brothers.
Yeah.
It's because listening to siblings fight is funny.
No, they do that a lot, okay. Yeah. And they also just say hysterical, disgusting things. And they're
nothing like this show.
They're really funny.
Super Megan. Big Ed's big anus.
Oh, they killed me. Like, Alyssa started to get annoyed at me because I'd be like losing my shit, and she'd be like, "What is it? That fucking thing from Super Mega again?"
And you're like, okay, actually, speaking of throwbacks, I just want to say, for those of you who may have been disappointed in me or whatever, or just didn't understand what was going on at the end of last episode, I didn't actually think Endgame sucks. I actually like it quite a bit.
As did I. It was fucking amazing.
I was just making it funny because I thought there'd be a hysterical thing to end the episode on, is me declaring something objectively false in my mind. Yeah, I know it's like a million years since the movie came out now, especially when this episode airs. But I did finally see it! Catching up with the discourse! A month out of the way! Woo!
It was a good time.
Yeah, man, it was a great ending. Made me feel good in my wood. It was a great time.
And by the time this episode airs, Game of Thrones will be over, and you all will have gotten the shitty ending, aborted mess, nonsense, idiocy that you deserve.
My favorite part was when Daenerys Targaryen ripped off her face and she was actually a reptilian the whole time.
She was an Argonian. She was an Oblivion Graphics Argonian. And when Jon Snow killed her, as he inevitably will, this is not a spoiler because this is well, actually, you know what? Who fucking cares? This will be after it ends anyway. She goes, "Whoa!"
What the fuck? Oh, that's set up for that. Wow, man, the fucking God, it's really crazy though. Like, a bunch of nerdy ass sagas are coming to an end all in this year. Mm-hmm. Got Game of Thrones ending. You got the Avengers ended. Star Wars last movie coming out, except it's totally not.
They're gonna be doing Star Wars shit forever.
And Marvel shit. Like coming home from Endgame. My friend that I watched it with, she was like, wow, I can't believe it's over. And I'm like, do you know what company we're fucking talking about right now?
Talking about Disney Marvel? It ain't over.
And she's like, well, what could they do? So many of the stories ended. I'm like, no one's ever really gone. And then the Star Wars John Williams started playing in the background. She's like, I haven't seen that movie yet, you dipshit. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then we watched The Last Jedi, and it was great. Oh,
I still haven't seen any of these movies.
Wow, Ada, I need to tie you to a chair Clockwork Orange style and force feed you boo-boo.
That's not necessary. I'll willingly see them. I just won't leave the house unless somebody is with me.
Can I tie you a chair anyway?
I'd rather not get into that.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Star Wars. I loved Last Jedi, so I'm super down to see what happens next.
The last Jedi.
Yes, the ultra Last Jedi. Except, like, I don't know. I don't know what direction they're trying to pick with this new movie, but, like, what I really enjoyed about the last movie was how off the rails it went, and that's, I think, what a lot of people hated about it, because, like, the movie didn't do what I wanted it to. I wanted my ships to come true. I wanted my Obi-Wan fan theory to be real.
Did I talk about the Yuzan Vong before on the podcast?
Is that another Democratic candidate?
Yeah, for fucking real. No, the Yuzan Vong are an alien species from Star Wars, and in the original expanded universe stuff that they had, like the books and the comics and shit that came after the original Star Wars movies ended, and like they hadn't done any of the reboots and the prequels and all that stuff yet. Luke reforms the Jedi Order, and like they have to fight the remnants of the Empire. And
the First Order?
No, it's not the First Order.
Oh.
But they got to do all this shit. And, like, there's this weird...
Riveting!
There's this weird green boy named Prince Shizor who's boring as
fuck.
Oh!
I knew about that! He was the Dash Rendar!
Yeah.
He was in Shadows of the Empire, the game with...
Yes! and he's boring. And
he looks like a foot.
He does look like a foot. He looks like a foot with a top knot. That's what he looks like.
And if you've ever seen his personal spacecraft, it looks like the most edgelord thing you've ever seen in your life.
It's dumb as hell.
It's like made of spikes. It's really funny.
Yeah. But, like, as much of a insufferable shitlord as I've been about Game of Thrones not matching the books, you would expect me to be, like, heavily on board with the how dare they reboot Star Wars and do this, it's not right, it's wrong, it's not a canon. Like, and I was like, originally I was like that, and they're like, they're gonna shit its legacy down the drain and it's gonna be fucking terrible. And I was like, I just love Star Wars, and I just love Star Wars themed things. And then I was like, so Luke, I didn't finish the thought earlier, Luke has to get the newly formed Jedi Order and all of the newly formed government of good people to...
what do they call it? The New Republic?
Something like that. They have to prepare for the invasion of this species from outside the known universe named the Yuzan Vong. And they're like these...
Outside the known universe?
Yeah, they come in, they got all these like living weapons and shit.
Not galaxy.
Or galaxy. Or,
okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Universe and galaxies have completely different implications.
Not in non-specific science fantasy.
I mean, that's true, I guess. I come from another universe, from a certain point of view.
Yes. But anyhow, they got to prepare for this invasion of these creatures called the Yuzan Vong, and there are all these, like, things that look like the ghosts of Mars jackasses crossed with, like, Slipknot crossed with, like, Marilyn Manson in, like, 1998. And
so it looks like something that, like, Yonan Vasquez made up in his darker times.
Pretty much. If Yonan Vasquez worked on Spawn, he would have made these things.
Wow, that is the edgiest creature ever invented.
That's just a razor blade.
Yeah, it's just a razor blade with feet.
Little stick figure feet. It's cute.
Made of razor blades.
They have like this warrior culture, and they're like, we gotta conquer everything. And the where I'm going with this extremely long-winded exposition by now is that I was like, these Zen Vong are boring as fuck, and I never gave a shit about them. And I honestly, if like that's the canon that we're shooting to hell to make way for just new, vaguely Star Wars themed things, I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I never really liked the Yu Zen Vong. I never found that story arc compelling. I always thought it was boring and kind of dumb. And I give me a Boba Fett movie, please. You know?
Well, if it's anything like Solo, then you don't want a Boba Fett movie, dog.
I liked Solo.
Oh. I saw it on a phone, and I was not fond of it, and I might have been drunk through part of it. Whether I was actually consuming alcohol was a different matter, but...
The movie made you drunk.
It was just like... The whole, I don't know, maybe I just went in there with a secret sourpuss attitude that was just sort of, I didn't know was there, because like halfway through the film I'm like, why the fuck did we need this movie? Why the fuck did we need this? And like I was, after it I'm just like, man, I'm such a fucking grouch! What happened to me? I used to be optimistic, I used to like things!
Whereas my reaction was like exactly the opposite, because I was like, oh, you know, this is a really fun, nostalgic-y, Star Wars-y time. This was just what the Doctor ordered. I enjoyed this. I don't care if it, like, shat on some not very well-established canon. I honestly don't care. There were stormtroopers, there were laser fights, there was cool spaceships, and, you know, that's good enough for me.
And there was a train.
And
there was a big, goofy anti-gravity train, and they had Magneto boots.
They did indeed, and I liked the, in typical... B-Rai always really enjoys a minor villain thing. I really liked the worm gangster boy who shot at him in the beginning and had that cool like gas mask armor. I thought he was rad as hell. Yeah.
That was it. No, actually, speaking of Han Solo, the thing I was most excited about with the new Star Wars trailer, because literally it is just Rey doing like, hey, I'm Ray. Welcome to Jackass.
Yeah.
I'm Kenny Rouser. Dude, yeah. I'm Kenny Rangers, and I'm going to jump over that TIE fighter.
Here's the bat fetcher trick with motif.
Oh! And, like, that's all the trailer is besides, like, a few miscellaneous clips of cool shit. Like, the really awesome scene with the Death Star all, like, stuck in the ocean, and it looks fucking rad as shit. And then the Emperor's voice going like, after Luke goes, no one's ever really gone. And then, like, all that, and you're just like, oh, boy, oh. Which, actually, that did make me worried, because I was really excited about, like, the Last Jedi just sort of taking a shit on the established franchise. I liked that. I liked how there was just tortures are getting passed left and right. You're the new person. You're the new guy. You're the new man. You're the new dude. Jodie Foster's dead. Fuck, I forgot her name. What's her name? Fuck, Leia. Help.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher's dead.
Jodie Foster.
We're beginning to sound the same. Jodie Foster's beginning to sound like Carrie Fisher in her old age. And if you're laughing because it's not too much different than what I'm doing right now. Welcome to Frankenstein Control. Anyway, all of this is to say, the thing that made me the most excited about the new Star Wars trailer was fucking Lando was back!
Oh, I saw that.
Lando's
Sweet.
cruising, he's old and fat, and I love it! Woo! I'm so excited to see my Colt 45 buddy back in the cockpit of the Falcon!
That was pretty sweet.
With Chewbacca's, who, how the fuck old is Chewbacca?
Like 800 years old or some shit.
Are they supposed to live that long?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure they're like elves or something. They live 1,000 years.
They basically are. There's a great post that I saw where it was talking about the comparative lifespans of Wookiees versus humans, and it was like Han Solo is not the first friendship with a human that Chewbacca has ever had. You know, Han Solo is not his best friend and like, you know, partner buddy cop for life. Like Han Solo is Chewbacca's third dog.
Oh no! Wow! Wow! Man, that just brings me back to The Force Awakens, where I, again, can't stop saying good stuff about Last Jedi, because I remember everything about that movie, and I remember, like, about half of Force Awakens. But what I do remember about it was that scene where they're in this weird chasm, and they're like, what's gonna happen here? It's this big giant open pit with a single small bridge with very poor railings. What's gonna happen?
Someone's going over.
And then Han Solo's like, hey Chewie, watch this shit. I'm gonna grind on this rail like Sonic the Hedgehog. And he just goes, and he goes down the rail, and then guess who shows up? Mr. Kylo Ren and Stimpy. And he shows up, and he's like, ooh, grr, daddy, I'm a mad boy.
Fuck you, Dad.
And then just Han Solo, best line in the movie. Ben! The loudest, most shocking thing Harrison Ford has ever done in his life.
Including when he crashed that plane into people.
Was screaming the word Ben. And it stuck with me. Because I giggled in the theater. I liked the movie, but it's still silly to me. I liked it.
Oh, I remember what really pissed people off about the changes. So, in the original Star Wars canon, like, Luke and Leia both separately, like, had their own families. Like, Leia married Han, obviously, and they had kids. Kids that were not Kylo Ren.
Right.
And one of them had a daughter named Mara Jade Skywalker, and like she and a few other characters
what?
were Mara Jade Skywalker.
Oh, I thought you said Marge Skywalker. use the Force, hon. How can I do it, sweetie? Look, Lisa, I'm lifting a rock. Isn't that neat?
Those kids, particularly Mara Jade Skywalker, were huge fan favorites, and like if they dropped the ball on anything, they could have just had those characters. They could have just like shoehorned them in and kept them. There was no reason for them to ditch them entirely. So I guess that is one legitimate point of critique that some people do have. I never read any of the things with them in them, so if I'm being perfectly honest, it's all the same to me.
I love it. I love that they said no to those people, because, like, I think it's really cool that the culmination of two legendary bloodlines, Solo and Skywalker, mostly the Skywalker. Solos are just kind of like shoot guys when they're not looking and run away and go bang! But anyway, that culmination is the bad boy, and he's this whiny fucking idiot brat, and I love his dumb face and his ultra-wide chest. And then we have Rey, who is a literal fucking who, and I love that. I love that she's no one. They better keep her lineage this blank, boring piece of shit background that is just, you're nothing, you came from nowhere, and then she goes and does all that cool Force shit. Because if you're limiting it to just lineage shit, that's boring to me.
Yeah.
It's boring! I want Jedis. I want scythes and Jedis coming up out of the woods, out of the woodwork, out of the weed work, out of the weed fields.
I want to.
You just see Chewie stomp out of some weed fields going with like a legalized T-shirt. That'd be great. And then he fucking lifts a rock.
I want to Jedis you into space.
I like stairwanks. B-Rye, I bet you never heard a Star Wars review like that in your life.
I saw what you did there.
You know the names of every pod racer pilot, don't you?
I think I can remember them. Let's see here. There's Deadbolt, there's Clegg Holdfast, there's Sebulba, of course. Let's see here. Juan Sandage, Aldar Bedo. I liked him. He was a hitman who looked like a gator.
And his pod racer looked like razor, like green, like electric razors.
Yeah, it did. It was awesome. Let's see. There was Gasgano. There was Mars Guo. There was Rats Tyrell.
Mars Bruno?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
That's good.
You know what? This episode is sponsored by Mars Bruno Racing and Casino. Slop on down and watch the horse races and be part of the second movie that nobody likes but me.
We come on down to watch Bruno Mars fly a jet engine into a canyon wall.
Do you know Greg Proops was the announcer in the pod race?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
And he's like, welcome to Who's Line? Up there are the sand people again. Don't mind that that's kind of a racist depiction, but that's fine. Don't worry. He's gonna kill younglings. Good night, everybody.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.
Ben!